This next script is fnd tns underscore listeners based table. It is going to give you listeners in the environment. Now, as you know, when you start your services in apps tier, there is a application listener which will also run. This is separate from your database listener. So if you go to node 22, and as you know, this is shared Apple top from the previous videos. Let's go to 21. I will go to Apple top here, since I found my Apple top and set up my environment file. So here I will do the same thing. I will go to my Apple top, and I will go to the environment file, and I know my host name is 22, so I will set up my environment file based on host name, the domain name environment file. And then I will go to my admin admin here, scripts home. So if you remember, there is a ADALN CTL script. If you open this script, and we know that node 22 is concurrent manager tier. So here this script is going to start the application listener. And it is going to use the context file of 22. So let me go there. So if you see here, we are under you have to go to instance. Let's go there. So now let's see here what's going on. This is 21, and you have to go to 22. So okay. So we have to go to instance DOM specific to the node, and we go to admin, and that's where it is. Okay, and then we go to instance DOM Apple admin, and that is node specific. As you can see in the middle, they have injected the node name. Now we have the XML file sitting here. So if you have 20 nodes, you will have, each node will have, when you run out the config, it will create this instance specific instance stop, server specific instance stop, I should say. It will be named as instance name underscore host name, and under that you will all have their own XML files. Okay, so here in 22 we have the XML file where it looks like it goes and gets the information for the listener, and it's getting the password, it is getting all the stuff from here. Okay, and then as I told you, this is concurrent tier which is running your reports. So if you go to the instance stop Aura, so let's go there, let's copy this one here. If I run the script on 21, it will go to 21, so I want to go to 22. Let's go here, let's see if this works. Okay, so here for node 22 I'm just logged in. I'm just going through this script. I've shown you how to go there to the script using admin scripts home, and then you can go to the file here, ADAL and CDL. So this is application listener, and you can see here it is looking at the listener configuration from here, and we went to this directory, and under the directory, remember this is instance underscore host name is going to be there for every node. So we will go and do the same thing on 21 to make sure that you understand. And here if you go to listener, you will see the listener name is apps underscore rdt01. Okay, and if I do TNS, first let's go back to listener. So this listener on 21 is running on port 1656. Now if you go to Byte Armor and see listener thought I had ports right here. So here port is 1656, so 1656 is active. That's what it is showing here in the FND listener ports. And this is how you can make the link. Let me see, it's not showing up here, it's not showing up here. Alright, I think let me check FND listener ports. Yeah, the data is not there in detail, so I was wondering if we can just join this table with getting the listener name, Appletop and all these things, but it's not there unfortunately. So we have to go the route I just showed you, although I'm capturing the port names which are active for this instance. Alright, so we know that on server 22 1656 is the application listener, as we can see from the listener.aura file. So what is a SID? FND FS and FND SM. These are the two. This is not the database listener. This is the application listener. It is going to connect to these services when you run Concurrent Manager reports and you run some self-service. FND SM and FND FS binary files are going to intercept the calls made to connect to these services. And how do we use that? Simply we are going to use fndfs underscore host name, and SID is going to be fndfs. So fndfs is a binary file which is listening for request. So is fndsm, and this is how internally Oracle is going to make connection to different things. And this will fndsm will intercept the request and then move it to a database tier and get the data back and give it back to the user. So these are the things which are required when you view the reports, output, concurrent log output, and things like that. So that is what we saw from 22. So let's do the same thing on 21. And see what port do we get from there. So let's get to 21, and then let us go to admin scripts home and open ADALN CTL and see the context file location and the listener.ora. So here listener name is apps underscore RDT01, same as other one, but I'm going to, as you can see here, SID underscore host name location. So for every host you will have this subdirectory. If you have 20 nodes, you will have 20 subdirectories, even if you have shared Apple top. So let's go to that. Oops. And open the listener file. Listener name is apps underscore instance name and 1561, and we have 1561 not here, sorry, 1651. Okay, there we go. So the bottom one is used by concurrent tier. The second one is, so this TCP port 1656 is the listener port for the concurrent manager tier application listener. This listener port for 1651 is for the application listener for the forms and self-service tier. And you can see it is using the same SID name fndfs and fndsm, and listener file has the same thing as well. Oops, sorry, the TNS file also has the same situation. It is connecting to fndsfs and or fndsm. So these are the middleware processes which are going to use these services to talk to database and talk to the browser, and all these things will take place here. Alright, so that is how you use the listener ports and TNS listeners right here. So these are the listener names. Now these listener names are not actually the apps listener names, but these are the internal names. Alright, just like the FND application servers, these are not actually the server names but the internal names. But you can make out from here that apps underscore host name underscore instance name underscore apps. This is the format they want to follow internally. They may change any time, any release, but data is coming from FND TNS listeners. And if you go to the database tier, you will see that the other port was for database tier. So I think you can follow that logic now.